guys, it's Tina and I am back, and I am here with another Get Ready With Me video. This time I am doing somewhat of, I don't know, I was going for a peachy eye, but it didn't turn out into a peachy eye. It turned out into more of a cherry cranberry eye, which I don't mind. I actually really love how it turned out. And I paired it with like a dusty, muted, rosy nude lip to go with my top, of course. So if you want to see this Get Ready With Me video, then stay tuned and I'll talk to you soon. Hey there guys, so as usual I'm starting off with a clean, freshly washed face, and I'm grabbing my moisturizer of choice. This is the L'Oreal Hydrogenius Gel Moisturizer that is meant for oily skin, and it's a very lightweight moisturizer that absorbs really nicely into your skin and leaves you nice and hydrated without being oily or greasy. And I'll fill in my brows off camera. Tutorial is linked below in case you're interested. And then my next step is to go in with my eyeshadow primer. This is the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion, and I'll just apply that all over my lids to help prevent creasing of our eyeshadow throughout wear. Next, I'm grabbing my Urban Decay Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer in the shade Dark Neutral, and I'm grabbing my Anastasia number 18 concealer brush just to create a sharp outline under our brows with that concealer and to help cover up any stray hairs that weren't tweezed while we were prepping our brows. I'll then blend out the excess using my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush just to make sure we have a nice, even, seamless coverage of that concealer. And now I'm going to grab a secondary primer. This is the one I would have gone in with before the Urban Decay one, but I forgot about it, so I'm just going in with it now. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Lid Primer in the shade Medium, and again I'm just applying that on my lids and blending it out using my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush. And then I'll set everything in place and remove any excess moisture using my translucent powder from Laura Mercier, and I'm just going to tap the powder directly on my lids using my contour blender sponge from L'Oreal. Now I'm going in with my eyeshadows, and I'm grabbing the Nubian palette from Juvia's Place, which is just a neutral palette, and I'm grabbing this matte caramel shade from the top row of the palette and going in my brow bone and outer crease area using my Eddie Funkhouser large crease brush, and I'm using windshield wiper motions just to deposit that color in the crease. And now I'm gonna grab my eyeshadow from ColourPop. This is the shade Wait For It, which is just a light coral shade, and I'm using this in the outer V area and outer crease and blending it back and forth to create a nice wash of a warm shade. I'm using circular buffing motions and concentrating just on that outer lid space and very lightly blending it upwards. Next, I'm grabbing the shade Making Moves, also from ColourPop. This is also a coral shade, but it's a little bit deeper and it has a hint more of a pinky tone to it, so I'm using this again in the same way I did the previous color just to build up a little bit of dimension. Now I'm grabbing the Saharan palette from Juvia's Place, and I'm grabbing the shade Sokoto, which is a red shade. It's like a cherry red, and I'm applying this very lightly, so it's gonna come off a little bit more pink than red because I'm using just very little of this shade, and I'm just slowly building that up using back and forth windshield wiper motions to fade the color upward onto that brow bone so we have a nice, smooth, even gradient and no harsh lines. Now I'm going into my Smashbox Color Shot palette. This is the Bold palette, and I'm grabbing the Bold red shade. This is such a beautiful pigmented red, and it's still a cherry tone, so it's not too deep and overwhelming, and I'm using this now more on the outer lid to build up color and give that pop of red on that outer lid space. Now I'm grabbing the shade Stay Golden from ColourPop, which is a deeper, I would call it a cranberry shade, and I'm gonna try to concentrate this on the outer V using one of my Smith Cosmetics 231 Quill brushes. I'm creating the dimension, and then I'll blend out the edges with my Eddie Funkhouser brush. Again, trying to make sure that we don't leave behind any harsh line and everything blends together seamlessly. Now for my lid, I'm grabbing this shade from Makeup Forever. It's I-804, and it's the shade Golden Pink. And I'm applying this directly on my lid very slowly at first with my Eddie Funkhouser eyeshadow brush. I'm just blending this color from the center of the lid with the outer lid shades, and then I'll go in now with more of the shadow and build up the pigmentation. And I'll just make sure that I build up so we have a nice shimmery middle of the lid and inner lid. And of course I'll go back in with my blending brush just to make sure everything is nice and blended. And I picked up a little bit more of the Smashbox red shade to make sure that we have that pop of color again, that it's more intense on that outer lid area. For my highlight, I'm using my Makeup Geek Mirage Eyeshadow on a MAC 252 large shader brush. I'm applying that directly under my brow and then blending it downwards onto the lid so we blend out some of that red on that upper lid space. I'm going to clean up the shape of this eyeshadow using some of my Bioderma makeup remover, and I'm just using a clean cotton bud just to create a sharp outline on that outer lid space and outer V. Now let's move on to the skin. I'm using some of this primer from Kevyn. It's the Sensual Skin Primer, and it's a lotion type primer, so I am not sure how I feel about this yet. It didn't quite do as much to my skin as I would want. Usually I like a mattifying primer or a pore filling primer, but this one was more of a hydrating primer, which is not necessarily the one that I would gravitate towards, but I'm going to test it out some more and see how it goes. And then I'll go in with a little bit of this Urban Decay De-Slick Primer because, like I said, that one was more hydrating and I definitely need some oil control. So I'm just applying this into my T-zone area and pressing it into my skin. Now I'm grabbing this Sensual Skin Enhancer from Kevyn in shade number 11. And this is a very pigmented, very creamy, very heavy. It's a concealer foundation product, but it's very intense. And I'm blending that out using one of my Zoeva blending brushes, and it was really intense, as you can see here. So we're going to go in with a damp sponge and try to get this a little bit more blended out, because I mean it was really heavy under my eyes, so I'm really trying to blend that out some more. And I'm going in with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I wear the shade Cocoa, and I'm just applying that all over my skin, and then I'll blend it out using this foundation brush from Kevyn. I was sent these products to try out from the PR representatives for this company, so I was going ahead and testing them out. So far, I really love the brushes. I've always loved the Kevyn brushes, but the Sensual Skin Enhancer Primer and then the foundation I'm not 100% happy with, because maybe it's because of my skin type and my preferences. But I'm blending out that foundation, and then I'll set under my eyes using my La Prairie Cellular Treatment Loose Powder in the shade Translucent 2, and I'm just applying that directly under my eyes using that L'Oreal Contour Sponge again. And I'm just making sure we have a nice little layer of powder under our eyes. And then I'll set the rest of my face using my Urban Decay Ultra Definition Powder Foundation in the shade Medium Dark Golden, using my Tarte Large Powder Player Brush just to set everything in place. Now I'm going back into the eyes, and I'm using this shimmery shade from the Nubian palette. It's just a light shimmery champagne, and I'm popping that on my inner tear duct area to add a little bit of brightness on that inner space. And then I'll go ahead and apply my mascara, which is my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, because it's just my ultimate favorite mascara, and every time I try another mascara I keep going back to it. For my lashes today, I'm using these Goddess lashes from Tarte. They're cruelty-free lashes, and they're just a really simple style, but the band is a little bit thicker, so I do have to mold it and hold it in place when I'm applying it and making sure that it sticks completely in place. But once you have them on, they're pretty lightweight, and if you're looking for nice, easy, cruelty-free lashes that are a little bit more pricey, to be honest, then here are some nice ones to try out. For my blush, I'm using the shade Gingerly from MAC, which is just a simple neutral Capri bronze shade, and I'm using one of my Sonia Kashuk large powder brushes to apply this. And then I'm using the shade Firework from Makeup Geek. This is one of their duochrome highlighters, and I'm popping that on my cheeks using one of my Wayne Goss brushes. I think this is the number 3 face brush, and I'm just getting a very subtle highlight from this shade. And for my lower lash line, I'm gonna grab my skinny liner from Tarte. This is the shade Onyx, and I'm just applying that to my lower waterline. I really like this liner, and it's on sale. I think they're discontinued it, so I'm very sad about that. For my lower lash line, I'm using my MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara because, again, it's my favorite mascara for the lower lashes. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of this red brown shade from Anastasia Beverly Hills on my lower lash line. This is just to add a little bit of smokiness on that lower lash line. Nothing too crazy or intense. And then to wrap everything up, I'm going in with my lip color. And for this, I'm using one of my liquid lipsticks from Colored Raine. This is the shade Satin Cream. And I'm applying that all over my lips. This is just a really beautiful muted nude shade. I really love this color on my skin tone. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of dimension to this with a lip liner. This is the shade Cork from MAC. And I'm just going to very lightly outline the outer edges of my lips. And this is going to add a little bit of fullness to my lips and a little bit of dimension to this nude. And I always use a lip liner with a nude color. To top it off, I'm using my Girlactik Star Gloss in the shade Pinup, just for a little bit of zhuzh, so it's a little bit more juicy and not just a flat matte lip color. And I'll rub my lips together just to make sure we blend the formulas. And there you have it. This is the completed look. It's a very simple, at least simple to me, neutral eye with a pop of red, so it's a warmer neutral eye. And I really love these colors paired together, and then I'm pairing it with a very neutral lip. So it's a very subtle look, and I really love how everything turned out. And it went great together. It's just a nice rosy, again, very neutral wearable look. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this Get Ready With Me video. I really had fun with this look. I wasn't sure what I was trying to do, but I was just mixing and matching colors, and I really love how it turned out. Now, you don't need to get all these colors. Just see what you have in your own collection. As you can tell, I pulled from different palettes, from different single eyeshadows. I just wanted to have some fun, and fun I did have. I really love this red from the Smashbox palette. It's a really beautiful cherry red. And it actually replaces that red from the Kylie Cosmetics Burgundy palette that I said was kind of my favorite shade in that palette. And I kind of want to just depot that shade because everything else you can do. Everything else in that palette is like whatever. But that red shade, I really loved it. And I think I found a suitable replacement in this Smashbox palette. But hopefully you guys, again, enjoyed it. I will go ahead and leave a full list of the products used down below in the description box, as well as links to where you can pick them up. And those links are affiliate links. That means that if you make a purchase through those links, I will get a sales commission off your purchase. It doesn't change or affect the price of the product. It just means I get a commission. And if you're not comfortable with that, just feel free to shop on your own, shop online or in store for the products. It's no problem at all. But if you do use my links, thank you very much for the support because it does help me to put back into the channel. So again, thank you so much for watching and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.